Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the program. My name is EJ Electric. I'll be your host for Beauty and Wellness Manila VX. Our next talk will be about export performance of Philippine personal care products sector and maximizing opportunities in new markets. Our next speaker has an extensive experience in SME development, international marketing, trade facilitation, data analytics, and design and implementation of web-based information systems. She handles the Bureau's Market Innovation, Export Assistance, and Business Matching and Knowledge Processing divisions. She is a member of the DTI Innovation Circle and oversees the DTI Startup Pinay program. She also sits as a board of trustee of the Chief Information Officers Forum Incorporated and is currently its press relations officer. She was also a member of the negotiating team on Philippine, Japan, PHEFTA, ASEAN Korea, ASEAN Australia, New Zealand on trade in goods and rules of origin. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause to Assistant Director Agnes Perpetua Legaspi.
Okay, thank you and good afternoon, especially to the officers and of course members of the organizer of this the first ever, as I understand, online and virtual conference and exhibition. So my topic for today is on export performance of the Philippine personal care sector and maximizing opportunities in new markets. So I'll do a quick overview of what we do at EMB and some insights on our Philippine trade with the world, and then go specific to personal care and discuss the opportunities under our free trade agreements and the so-called general scheme of preference and some global consumer trends. So who would have thought that when we started the new year, that 2 months past, we will be in this kind of situation. And it has been really unprecedented, impacting a lot in our personal lives, in our businesses, and the way we now do our daily chores and in governance as well. So for us, it has been really a very challenging time because as we now looked at how we have been performing because of this global pandemic, we have really seen how we need to shift. And for us, the new or better normal is digital. And for us also to be able to continue to engage with our stakeholders, we have to be digital as well. So just to share with you what we've done over the past 7 months, we've really accelerated the digital transformation of all our programs. We have been enrolling Philippine exporters to B2C e-commerce platform. I can highlight that a bit later. We've done a lot of webinars, sectoral and general, for very specific topics that are relevant to what is happening right now. We have done a lot of online business-to-business matching, and our trade line information system is being continually being enhanced. And our Export Development Act accreditation is also done online right now. All of our marketing, promotional collaterals, they're all online. Our regional consultations with our Philippine Export Development Plan, all online. And we are continuing to enhance our analytics, and we're looking at predictive analytics for our export performance, even going down to specific sectors. So hopefully that one can bring value to our stakeholders on a sectoral level. And we continue to improve on how we work with our clients. We call it CRMS. We have done a lot of campaign on buyers. So if they're interested to know more about our database for our foreign buyers, very specific to your sector, you can also reach out to us. We've done one-on-one European Union registered exporters online coaching, because by the end of this year, those who are exporting to EU, if you're not in this registry, it would be difficult for you to export and get that preferential tariff. We also are posting a lot on export news, market intelligence subscriptions, we'll share later. we will be hosting the National Exporters Week this first week of December, and hopefully we can invite you there. A culminating event is the so-called Export Congress, and the Philippine Startup Week, our second. We started this last year with the DICT and DOST, so we're highlighting the startup ecosystem players, specifically our tech startups. So all of our services are now online, from export assistance, anything to do with your export journey, whether it be trade facilitation issue, whether it be inquiries. We also do a lot of business matching. These are now done virtually, as I said, but we receive a lot of inquiries, trade leads from our foreign post. We have about 30 of them posted all over key cities in the world. And we also receive inquiries from the Philippine embassies. Recently, we just received one from Dhaka, and that's in Bangladesh. And of course, for those that have challenges in their business instructions, we also entertain from the buyer's side as well as the Philippine exporters any complaint with how their export transactions has been handled. And this is done through mediation. We have an export trade complaints committee who oversees this this activity. We also are accrediting exporters, those that are not under BOI or PESA and are not receiving specific incentives. This is under the law, 1995 law on Export Development Act. So if you are an exporter and you have your export that is like 70% of your total sales is on export, you can apply to us and we can endorse you to the DOF for the zero VAT. And this are on tax credits. We do a lot of one-on-one. It can be company level. I recently did on a business support organization with Glassware on the free trade agreements. And we have assigned market officers and product officers who can help you also on your inquiries. So we do a lot of this one-on-one right now with specific companies as well as business support organizations for like common inquiries. And I think I've done this also before for the sector in one of your GMM. We do prior, of course, to our, prior to the pandemic, we've done a lot of business missions in different countries. We also receive a lot of inbound missions from different countries as well. So right now what we're doing, these are done virtually. We organize a group of Philippine, because we still call them delegation, but these are all done virtually. So we have scheduled meetups with like buyers in a certain time frame, because as you know, we operate in different time zones. And we have this knowledge processing, where our main tool to reach out to you right now is through our trade line information system. And this is the trade line, so you can explore it. We have trade statistics. You can monitor your export and import performance of your specific products, whether it be at harmonized system 2-digit level, 4-digit level, 6-digit level, the AHTN for ASEAN, and for PSEC for the country code at 10-digit level. There is also an automated business matching here. You can register if you're like a regular exporter, please register here. And we also have buyers that are registered, and you can be automatically matched with the trade leads from those buyers. We have also a lot of reports. We call them export intelligence. Our calendar of activities are posted. Resources, we have like directories of all related export commodity or enablers that can help you in your export, as well as the Philippine Export Guidebook. So just to share with you a glimpse of our priority programs, under the Philippine Export Development Plan, we've done a lot of virtual consultations. We will be hosting the Exporters Week this December. Please mark your calendar, December 3. If we will send you an invite. If you're interested, just shoot us an email. And there are actually 18 government agencies that are mandated to continue to support the growth of exports. Under our Philippine Export Competitive Program, we support, of course, the digital transformation of our exporters, and we do a lot of engagement through webinars. We get resource speaker that talks about relevant issues confronting our exporters. In this past few months, we've done a lot on financing. a lot on new regulations from the Bureau of Customs, on market opportunities, and new regulations also from other countries. So under the RIPPLES program, Regional Interactive Platform for Philippine Exporters, this is an enrollment base with our regional operations group. So if you're located in specific province or region, you can reach out to our regional operations group if you're interested. And this kind of bespoke. So for those that are enrolled in this program, we actually assess their level of their export journey. For the doing business in free trade areas, this is where we do a lot of info sessions to campaign on the opportunities under the free trade agreements and general scheme of preference. So we've done a lot of webinars, B2B, and a campaign on the EU as well. And for this year, we actually have engaged with Switzerland, SIPO, for 3 market studies on processed food, natural ingredients, and natural fiber and textiles. This is a major program for us, the halal, because this was enacted via a law in 2016. So the DTI-EMB is the Secretariat for the Halal Industry Development and Export Promotion. So we've done a lot of webinars. We're also engaged with MOUs with different Muslim countries because as you all know, within ASEAN, we have a trade in goods agreement, and one of the key markets there is Indonesia. In the Middle East, it is of course dominated by our Muslim populace. So we are continuing our engagement with them to gain market access. And we're also doing a lot of trainings, workshop, because you cannot export to these markets if you're not halal certified, or if you are a halal certification body and you are not accredited in those markets. For TradeLine, we continue to enhance it. We now have a chatbot. We call it the Export Virtual Assistant, or EVA. We have B2B microsites and market intelligence subscription. And for our startup, this is where we are looking at innovative tech startups, really who are risking it, ready to change the status quo, and are scalable. So we support startups who are past their minimum viable product into participation in international pitching conferences, events, or workshops. And we have a very specialized program for Pinay founders. We also send them out to international conferences, pitching competition, as well as international events. A new project, we hope that we can actually work with the sector, with your sector, is the She Trades Hub. So this is with the International Trade Center, Geneva. So we have been identified as a hub, and DTI is the host institution with the focal point as the Export Marketing Bureau. So we're doing a lot of stakeholder mapping right now, and we are encouraging women entrepreneurs to enroll in the She Trades Hub or in the site at ITC. We can share the website here, and you will be, if you're part of this hub or network, you actually gained global exposure or network to the vast ITC global network. And the objective here is to connect about 3 million women entrepreneurs to more global markets. And we will be launching this She Trades Philippine Hubs in time with the National Exporters Week. So just to give you a glimpse of what we do at EMB, and of course, taking our cue from Secretary Mon, always optimistic even during this pandemic, because we always looked at how we can create smarter, globally competitive MSMEs that can really fight it out in the international market. And yes, we do have limited funds and resources, but MSMEs are definitely our priorities. And DTI has institutionalized our support in this digital economy by conducting this Bayanihan effort called Control Biz Reboot Now. So if you're not yet online, your business is not online, please, you're out of the loop. So if you're eager to learn more about this, just check out our DTI website, Facebook, as well as our YouTube channel. And you can also reach out to our e-commerce office. Specifically for EMB, we have targeted 100 MSMEs to be onboarded to this major e-commerce site, Amazon, eBay, and Etsy. And we are partnered with Easy Fulfill, a startup, because we do not want that our MSs would have the headache in terms of the fulfillment. So this is like you just need to be part of this, our 100, and as soon as you have passed our criteria, actually the headache is gone. You just need to list your products and talk with our guys at the Easy Fulfill. So you don't have to think about how you will deliver, how they will, if there are complaints and those things. So what you just need to do is to ensure that you have the right product descriptions, the right pricing, as well as the necessary compliance, like if you're food with FTA. So in our support to our different stakeholders, we've done a lot of webinars, particularly for your sector. We've done one in UAE and in Qatar. And we've also have done info sessions on credit assistance for exporters, MSMEs. And if you have time, October 27, those exporters are also importers. Please attend our import processes for exporters info session. This is a free webinar. Just so to highlight how important for us to reach you through our online information system. We've been monitoring our performance in terms of reach, and please open your camera, you can scan this, and you can be linked to the Tradeline website. So we're happy that we've more than doubled our reach in terms of our stakeholders to our website. And we do have a Facebook. We post you just typed in Export Marketing Bureau and you will be linked with it. If you have like the questions about export, please help us also in populating our chatbot. We want to ensure that we continue to derive intelligent answers to your questions. These are our current market intelligence subscriptions. We have Euromonitor, Mintel, Startup Genome, Startup Blink, Report Blinker, SheTrade, Oxford Economics, ChemLink. We've actually invested in this market intelligence subscriptions because this is, I think, what we can strategically share to our many stakeholders in the different sectors. So some of them we've digested, they're all in Tradeline, Euromonitor. You can look at about beauty and personal care in UAE, those things, regional insights about the country, Southeast Asia beauty insights, industry forecast for Philippines, and those. And yes, we continue to support our stakeholders by ensuring that once we receive new information, say especially on financing, we are able to get the right resource person. And then this is a recent development under the Bayanihan program. For those who are members of the PhilExport, you actually can access this program. So let me just go through some data and statistics of our trade with the world. So yes, we have been steadily increasing our exports. If you looked at this slide, steady growth, but we are a net importer of as we speak, and it has been more than many decades that we've been in that kind of space. We were also on track with the Philippine Export Development Plan, but COVID happened. And just so for you to get a glimpse of our portfolio, our export portfolio is basically, majority of it is industrial, and it's all electronics, other sectors. And it's also because we're part of that so-called global value chain. But we see here a little on fresh food, processed food, fashion accessories. And for your sectors, really, there is certainly room for more exports in other countries. So these are our top export markets in the year 2019. This top 10 already comprised 83% of our total exports. So thus the strategy also is how we continue to diversify to new markets. In terms of imports, we would also note that most of our imports are on industrial and a bit about on processed food and fresh food. But this also is very telling. Yes, we're part of the global value chain, but this also tells us that we do need certain products to really support the build of our current government, as well as to help also industries that need the different inputs or different like machinery for like our food industry and the likes. So where do we source? We mainly source from our partners. When I say partners, we mainly source from free trade agreement partners and our from the GSP, which is USA. Except for Taiwan, we actually are majority of our imports are from our free trade partners and those with preferential trade agreement. And then that is the benefit actually of engaging with free trade agreements. Just so to share with you the structure, I actually was discussing more about goods, but of course, as we evolve into a more industrial country, we will see that eventually services will overtake goods export. And even in your sector, you do have services as well, the likes of those that are in the spa, cosmetic, like, of course, the famous Dr. Bello. And just to share with you how challenging the few months have been, we were doing quite well with our January, February figures. We were still hovering with that steady 5 billion export every month. But in April, that was really the biggest dip that we've experienced, almost 50% from the past year. And yes, we saw also a little improvement. But in the recent August report, because of the modified ECQ that was also instituted prior, we also see the negative effect. We're really hoping that we can reboot and really hit still our stride in our exports. So for Philippine exports on personal care, these are the things that we see have potential also on health and wellness. And we actually have been seeing that many of these are in certain niche markets because the ingredients that they have been using are natural and are endemic to us. And you see here pili, coconut, rice pa, even calamansi, and the likes. So for this figure, I just wanted to highlight that our total trade, this is the blue one, is actually we are net importer of personal care products. So we do not export as much. And if you looked at the recent 2019, yes, we did increase our export, but we also increased our imports. And this is why we hope that more of you from this personal care sector will also look into the exports, not only domestic. So what are the new and emerging markets for personal care? We see a lot of potential with UAE. Their imports from the world is like a 3 billion, because this is in US dollars, 3 billion, whereas they only imported from us roughly 36 or 37 million US dollars. And it's only like a 1% share. So that's an opportunity there. And why? Because we do have our, the Filipino diaspora or our OFWs. We do have a huge population of Filipinos there. There are opportunities with the Dubai Expo 2021 as well as the World Cup 2022. And if you looked at the potentials for like looking at the figures for like year 2040, that you would see now that still will continue to grow in billion of billion AED. Not only billion, because this is already in million, so that's trillion. Another emerging market for us is it's not only South Africa, it's also the entire Africa, because we've seen also some inroads in like Nigeria and Zimbabwe and all. But focusing on South Africa, if you looked at it, they are importing like 1 billion US dollars, but from us, they're only importing roughly 1.1 million, and percent share is only like 0.1%. And it's really still, if you looked at the forecast, it's a continued growth until 2024. I would like now to highlight this specific market. This is the Islamic economy market, and it will reach by 2023 3 trillion US dollars. And what we're looking here is how we can share in that pie, especially for halal cosmetics. So for 2023, they're looking at a 90 billion US dollar. And you look at the population of Muslims, they're like a quarter of the global population. So a lot of opportunities for the Islamic economy. So under the preferential trade agreements, I'd like to highlight that the benefits of this, as well as this formal agreements with specific countries or under a certain regional bloc, is because we want to remain competitive. The reason because is when you engage in an FTA, you're actually working together in reducing or eliminating tariffs or the impediments in having a freer flow of trade, whether it be goods, services, or people. And we need to remain competitive because other competitor countries who are trading with our big trade partners are engaging them also in FTAs. So we need to be able to compete on that level. And we need to promote cross-border complementation because we do not produce the many products in the country, or we do not grow certain plants, products, etc. In the country. So, and of course, technology also, we do not have the certain technologies to produce high value products or more value adding products, and then therefore we need that kind of complementation. We need to ensure the inflow of investment so that new business models can come in, or new technology, new expertise can come into the country so that we can evolve also our industrial structure. And at the end of the day, it's going to be for the benefit of consumers, because if consumers are able to buy very cost-efficient products, because we were able to say import like cheaper raw materials, say for example wheat, sugar, those that we don't have not abundant, and then therefore the end product will be most cost efficient for us. My classic example here is if I want to buy an apple, I now have a choice as a consumer to whether I buy the Fuji apple from Japan or the China apple. And then it now depends on my budget, but it's still the same. I can buy the apple, but now I can choose. So it's really for the benefit of consumers. So these are our free trade agreements, general scheme of preference. You would see this under ASEAN, the 10 countries, and of course our big trade partners, China, Korea, Japan, India, Australia, New Zealand, plus Hong Kong, and with our bilateral with Japan. And another bilateral is with the European Free Trade Association, with Iceland, Liechtenstein, Norway, and Switzerland. And with the big countries, we call them the donor countries, with USA, EU, Canada, Russia, to name a few. So just a listing of them. And of course, I think you're very familiar because the personal care or cosmetics is one of the priority sectors that is being in terms of the mutual recognition agreement under ASEAN, which is being discussed. So we looked at ASEAN as a market of like 650 million people. And if you now add the other countries where we have trade partners, you're looking at a 3 billion consumer base for this free trade agreement network. Just a glimpse of what we were able to access in terms of the benefits. And of course, looking at the consumer base, the population, you have India and China over 1 billion, and South Korea with more than 50 million, Japan 126, and combined Australia and New Zealand 30 million. All of them, they're very affluent. If you look at the GDP, they're already in trillion US dollars. And in coverage, the opening for us is if those that are familiar with the tariff book, if they say you have a 10,000 products listed in China, we have an opening of 9,460 of those products, whether they probably are already zero or at reduced tariff compared to the MFN. And for as long as the Philippine company is able to hurdle the rules of origin, then the importer or the buyer from these markets will not pay any additional tariff. So that's the benefit of being in an FTA. And what are now the trends and opportunities here? China import also a lot on food and consumer goods. They also are an importer of industrial raw materials. And for South Korea, it's a growing market for organic products. For Japan, we are actually #1 supplier on Belarus woodwork, fresh bananas, pineapples, desiccated coconut. Yes, South Korea and Japan, they're very advanced in as far as your sector is concerned, but there is a space for us, I think, to also engage with them. For Australia and New Zealand, this is the most liberal because this year, actually, if we are export to them and we are able to comply with the rules of origin is actually zero tariff. And there are market for a lot on coconut products, processed tropical fruits, design-driven products, and the like. And for India, yes, we have yet to tap this huge market because there's certain complexities in this market, especially on you need to localize, especially on if you're interested in food. But we see a lot of opportunities under personal care products in this market. So this is another bilateral, the Free Trade Association FTA, very liberal because zero tariff at chapters 25 to 97, as well as fish and fish products. And also a lot of concession for our agricultural products. And when we talk about the general scheme of preference, when I talk about free trade agreements, they're reciprocity basis. They opened their markets. However, they also can sell to us because we also opened our market. But for the general scheme of preference, when we talk about donor countries, they did not ask for market access from us. But as beneficiary countries, we actually are able to access their market to a number of products. And these are the current GSP. This is allowed under the World Trade Organization. So for the EU GSP Plus, we actually were part of the GSP regular, but being compliant with the plus of the international conventions on human rights, governance, transparency, environment, etc., we were actually given more concessions under plus. So the opening now is 6,274 products, all at zero duties. And as long as we hurdle the rules of origin, the buyers will not have to pay tariff. And right now, the scheme of the registered exporter system is that it is now self-certification. If you're an exporter to EU, you don't have to go to the Bureau of Customs to apply for a certificate of origin. However, the competent authority also in registering you for this program is the Bureau of Customs. So we encourage you guys, those that are exporting to EU, if you're not familiar with this, you can reach out to us and we can help you link you with the BOC and also do the necessary follow-ups. For the US GSP, this is still active until 2020. Usually it's on a renewable basis. And there are about 5,000 tariff lines, or about 47% of total US tariff lines that are at zero tariff. And in 2017, we were able to add 23 tariff goods in this program. So some of the US eligible products are on bath salts, personal deodorants, and antiperspirants. So this is our example on how we apply the free trade agreement and the GSP. For those who are seasoned exporters and as well as importers, they're very familiar with this MFN and FTA rate. But you do need to get the specific tariff or HS code, harmonized system code, or with ASEAN HTN. So we just simplified it. These are just the description. But under China, if you're before, without the FTA, the buyer will have to pay 10%. For EU GSP, for shampoos, 10%. For Canada, 6.5%. And under FTA, it's 0. So how do you avail of this preferential tariff for your products? You do need to have the right tariff code first and check the FTA of the importing country, check the rules of origin, apply for certificate of origin if this applies still, because in many of the FTAs right now, they're all about using this registered exporters or certified exporters, and send the CO to the importer. We'd like to share some of the global consumer trends that we've been able to access through our subscription. And the future outlook and the state of play, given this pandemic, is really how consumer markets are evolving. And really, it's all about sustainability to purpose now. So it's more purposive. It's really looking at how we can help combat pollution, climate change, really holistic, looking at environmental and economic value. Looking at the 3 Ps, the planet, the people, and of course, your profit. Home entertainment and new experiential customer. All of us are nesting right now. Very few go really to outside to get their entertainment. Most of you, I think, will have Netflix subscription. And it's all about cocooning. What are you doing in your home. So these are now the trends. So you have to look at strategic opportunities across products and services. And where and how consumers shop right now is all about click and collect, as they say it. It's all online. So technology has really speeded up, or the pandemic has speeded up into our adoption into new technologies. And it's all about wellness redefined, how we achieve that optimal health, really looking at how it's more on ensuring mental wellness and emotional health. And innovation and the new core, it's going to be, this is now how it should be, because we need to look at how we will operate in this new environment. How do we be in a better normal? Because we can never go back to how it was before. So a lot of demand for immunity, health boosting ingredients, and consumers will actually pay a premium. So when we talk about new normal, actually for me, I can't even define it at this point. We don't even know what will happen. In the past week, we've heard that Malaysia is now on a new lockdown. I think in France also, they've been getting serious in, they don't call it lockdown, but clearly we see a lot of news that they're getting stricter in the movement of people. So this is how it is for now, but it's really how we can create that better normal. And from sustainability to purpose, it really will have to impact. I'd just like to highlight on health, beauty, and fashion at this point. Companies are moving production to the pursuit of greater good through ethical values and brand positioning. Health, beauty, and fashion brands must invest more in locally produced goods now more than ever, and concentrate on their brand heritage, transparency, safety, and provenance. So I can just share all of this to you on this slide. So it's all about digital transformation, how consumers behavior are changing. We're now moving to a cashless society. If I can remember the target for our SLEX and NLEX, when you now go to this or use the facility for the toll, they are actually all, I think, are now cashless come November 5, if I'm not mistaken. And as we now transact more and more online, it's not all about buying or selling, collecting your payments. It's also transacting to our banks. It's paying our insurance. All of this we can now do online. And how do we see consumer trends on beauty and personal care beyond COVID-19? I know it's a little bit text heavy, but this is how we see based on our subscription with Minto. It's all about creating products that elevate engineered natural ingredients. It's feature waste-free claims, and it's promoting total wellness platform. It's bridging beauty with Internet of Things. This is now using technology. And in hacking biology as the consumer switches from aging to longevity, moving towards emotional and mental aging. And we're so lucky in the Philippines, our median age is still at about 24 to 25. If you looked at the median age of, say, Japan, of EU, they're, I think, past 40, and other countries past 50. So you have to look at opportunities in this segment. Use virtual and augmented reality in retail. This is evolving as we speak. What are also the trends in action right now? The try-on makeup. And there's an example from Saudi Arabia, the YouTube makeover. It's all about augmented reality. Color Me Pretty, Watson, L'Oreal, they've invested in artificial intelligence. And virtual beauty app, Amway Global, have launched their mobile app for their beauty brand, Artistry. And yes, we need to take care of our environment, and it's all about the SDGs, if you're familiar with this Sustainable Development Goals. So for you also, because many of your products are really packaged, so are you into sustainable packaging as well? So it really has to, how, say this example, Hakel's BioRestore membrane is a waste-free sheet eye mask that biodegrades after use. So this is just an example of the kind of innovation that are being done in creating sustainable packaging. For DTI, we go back to our mandate on how we can continue to increase our exports. And if we continue to use locally produced products here, we do not import as much, then we are creating more value adding products that we can export. And because we are still a net importer at this time, we really encourage more exports so that we can substantially contribute into nation building. And the measure of that is always GDP. So for those who want to reach out to us, please scan this QR code. These are our emails. Connect with us. Like our Facebook at Export Marketing Bureau. Thank you so much, and wishing the rest of the event a success. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and a big round of applause to Agnes. Hi, Agnes. How are you?
I'm good.
I enjoyed your talk, by the way. I was just in the background.
Thank you,
watching
EJ.
you.
So hopefully you can be one of our exporters too, if you're interested into going to business. A lot of opportunities, even if it's in this pandemic mode. You know, sorry, I talk a lot, but
sure.
when we see, you know, challenges, pain points, these are actually opportunities for many to go into certain creating new business models, producing new products, and even businesses or that are service oriented.
Right. If you were watching earlier today, we could actually connect that into the DOSD's initiative. Apparently DOSD has a program where they encourage the innovation of products, and then maybe with the innovative products that we have in conjunction with the DOSD, you know, we could export those things. I mean, you are looking to increase exports in the Philippines, correct?
We work closely with the DOSD.
There you go.
I am part of some of their committees, and it's really important that we continue to do alignment in the kind of priorities and the resources that we can pull together. So we have a very good working relationship with DOSD, similarly with other government agencies. So it's going to be a whole of nation approach if we really want to, you know, level up and you know, stay ahead of the curve.
Right. And if anything, there is always a silver lining to every dark cloud. And I think what this pandemic has brought to you with DTI is that you have brought the Internet of Things in your processing. I noticed in what you said. It sort of like was a push into the internet. And now, let's say a regular application for a promo is like, because I'm a creative director for a big company here in the Philippines. And for example, we have promos. We send somebody to Makati personally to get in line, and now you can do this online, correct?
Yep, everything's online right now. Oh, I can I answer some of the questions that were posted?
Yes, definitely.
Hi, how best to connect with DTI regarding your program? Okay, go ahead, EJ. Sorry.
Yeah, please answer that question. That was what I was going to ask you.
Okay, so you can email me. I actually posted it, but you can also email exports@dti.gov.ph. I can type it in the chat box later. And we have our Facebook. You can also connect to us, Export Marketing Bureau. If you are now online, which of course you all are, just go there. You can actually see some of our events that will be happening, our invites. Register, please, if you're interested. And that's one I'm really glad that there was a question, how to enroll in the She Trades PH Hub. Shoot us an email because we already are encouraging registration to the She Trades Geneva. And for those that are enrolled under that program, we will call those under the Philippines and we'll invite you to our launching. And then what else?
Okay, I have somebody, her name is Betsy0830. She has raised her hand. Betsy, let's have your question, please. And will you type the question on the chat, please? We are just waiting for that question. Oh, while we're waiting for Betsy, how much is the total volume exports of VCO and other cocoa products?
Okay, I don't have the figures right now, but this is one of our major exports. So
coconut.
That's telling. Yep. Coconut products, VCO, MCT, coconut sugar, coconut water, I think coconut flour. We
No, so
kind of
coconut.
evolved also more value adding coconut. We have amino right
Yes.
now. And those are actually in Traders Joe and Whole Foods in the US, in
Yes.
the shelves of their mainstream.
Does it say made in the Philippines in
Yep,
the packaging?
or they're indicated that or they are sourced from the Philippines. It could be
Sourced
that the
from the
packaging
Philippines.
may be different, but they're mainly sourced from Philippines.
Okay. Okay. So Betsy was asking she would like a copy of all your slides. Will we invite her to email you as well?
Yep, we can share the slide to the organizer.
Great. We'll post it on our lines, beautyandwellnessmanila.com. We will make an announcement there as well as our Facebook and Instagram pages. Okay, Betsy, thank you very much to all our audience members. This is all the time that we have, but please collect all your questions and you can always email Agnes right there. She's giving out her email. You know, you're able to ask her all the questions that you want. Agnes, thank you for joining us today.
And
Appreciate
EJ,
you.
just want to say shout out to Dina of the CCIP and all the officers and members. We do have a close relationship with the chamber. So thank you for
Yes.
always inviting us in this major events. We do have also an online virtual booth there with you guys. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye, Agnes.